Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Madmen with a Box live for the 169th time. Yes, for the last time this
could be
year.
Worse. Could be worse, Pixel. Could be 167.
How fucking dare you, sir?
Hey, working at my place, I have to hear that
hear
that every day.
It's driving me crazy.
I have someone who makes announcements that the store is closing, and he will say the store is closing in approximately 6 or 7 minutes, and I want to strangle him every time he says that.
You know, I thought that last week when I was talking about this would be the 169th episode, though. I was like, man, God, at least it's not that one.
I'm glad.
Joining me as always is OZChris. We exist to torment each other.
Wasn't Gevain here a minute ago?
It's right below you.
Well, there he is.
It's right there. But first I have to introduce you, Landry of the Quinwall.
Oh, right.
And then we go below to Gevain of Animated Concepts.
Hello, hello, hello.
He's here. And lastly, Joe of the Corallos.
It's true. Whoa.
We're here today to talk about, well, you know, Christmas around the corner. So we're talking about the Christmas Invasion. The 10th Doctor's first episode. But before that, we don't really have any news. But Joe of the Corallos is the only one of us who have seen anything other than TikTok clips of the war between the land and the sea. So he's the only one of us that can truthfully talk about it.
I tried. I couldn't get it.
Yeah, it's so the biggest problem with this series, other than why bother, like why are we putting out we're trying to rebuild the brand of Doctor Who and get it to a new audience, maybe focus on making that a success first before you do a spinoff. But the pacing, just like in the first 2 episodes, is brutally slow. Nothing happened. Nothing is happening. It's crazy. It takes a whole episode, like the end of the 3rd episode is more or less like the real, like, inciting sort of event. And it's like we have 5 episodes and you wait till the end of the 3rd episode to have like the real tense sort of like, and you know, things are really escalating here. But for the most part, it's like we're now 4 episodes in. There's only 1 episode left. And I guess in homage to the Silurians, there's a lot of people that are just getting captured and let go and recaptured, and it sucks. It just sucks. Like it's not a bad story even, but it's a nothing burger. Like this feels like a 2-part Doctor Who story that I've watched 4 episodes of, and there's another episode on the way.
That sounds bad.
Yeah, like it's just like this should just have been a 2. And again, like there's nothing we're learning here. It's all the same stuff. It's painfully predictable. If you have slow pacing and you're really predictable, that's like what this show is. And it's like, to be both of those things at the same time, it's too much. Before everything happened, I was always just like, oh, well, now this is the next beat that has to happen for the story to move in the most predictable way. And that's what it is every single time. And of course, it's the bit where it's like, oh, Russell Tovey and the woman, as you're alluding to with The Shape of Water, kind of say it's just like, I can't believe they're going for a story where one human, one sea devil seem to have a willingness to understand each other, but no one else around them does. And they're going to have to do something that's going to win everyone. It's like, I've seen this story way too many times for it to be this slowly paced and to have almost no characters I could possibly care about in it. Like, at least if the doctor,
especially from what I've heard of what happens to a certain character who
yeah,
rest in peace, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but also who cares? Like,
yeah, when I saw that, like, just on Twitter, I'm like, oh no. Anyway, because he did not have a character in the main show, so I don't care that he's possibly gone.
Yeah.
Which is a big problem with the whole, like, let's bring back Unit as a big mainstay for, like, New Who, especially this era. But we don't care about them. They're not the Brigadier, they're not Yates, they're not Benton. They're not as interesting or, like, likable as those characters. And it just has to be, guys, we're definitely not S.H.I.E.L.D. That's just what it feels like with Unit, and it doesn't help that Kate is like here or there of like, I don't want to be tied down to my father's legacy, but hey guys, do you know my dad is the Brigadier?
Yeah.
So she doesn't have a character, and it doesn't help that the Doctor's also kind of like that with her. She's like, oh, I go by Kate Stewart because I don't want to be tied down and feel like it's a nepotism hire that I'm leading Unit. And then 14 directly addresses her as Kate Lethbridge Stewart.
Yeah.
Even though that's not the name she goes by.
Sack Russell T. Davis.
Yeah, no, it's I don't get it. It's like someone was like, what if we did something like Avatar, but on a much smaller budget?
Now that
That's
you
what
say
everyone's
that,
been
yeah.
craving, really, I think. Is
Now that
less
you
of-
say that, it does feel like, what if we just did Avatar, but entirely on Earth?
Yeah.
And no aliens.
Pocahontas?
Yeah, it's what if we made Avatar as cheaply as possible? And it's like as soon as you see that and you see through that marketing ploy and everything, it makes it suck more.
I feel like I'm not gonna watch this.
Yeah.
show.
I'm gonna watch it anyway just to get my own thoughts.
You're gonna
on
have
it,
to watch it.
But
We're
from
gonna talk about
it's a weird thing where I see everyone being like, where was this quality in the main show? And then a lot of other people being like, it's okay.
Yeah.
This is fine.
This is fine.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can't imagine you I feel like the highest, like, and again, like maybe the finale is like so fucking bonkers that it's like, sure. But I think we said that about, or we wanted to feel that way about the last two seasons of Doctor Who. So
That is how we felt.
So Lucy's gonna take the fucking football out from in front of me again. But
That's the problem.
We're all Charlie Brown. Oh God.
But yeah, it's just like I can't imagine. I think best case scenario would be like a 7 out of 10 for I think anyone. I think that's like being the absolute most generous you could be for this. Like, there's just too many. It's like it's too predictable. It's not giving us anything new, and it's with less characters we care about.
I just don't understand how do people churn this stuff out and not catch this, I guess is the word. Like, who's working in quality assurance? It's like, good Lord.
Yeah.
I guess they thought they were too big to fail, but
Yeah.
they weren't.
I think we have
big-
a lot of that. Like
Yeah.
Russell T Davies came in on the promise of, I did it before, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
and I'll make it bigger.
But and here's the thing, like, when I get a little bit of that because, you know, when you pitch a project, there's a degree that the person who is hiring you to the project is trusting your delivery. You may here's a concept. I'm going to make it all work in the execution, and the editor or the producer or whatever is hiring you, basically going, okay, I'm looking at your track record. I'm not hiring you based on what you're going to do because you haven't done it yet. I'm hiring you based on what you have done.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of faith that has to go into the hiring process, and it doesn't always pay off.
Yeah.
No, especially with this era.
Like
Especially with the goal of being this needs to be. We hope it produces content, which, you know, that's. I feel like for most of us, we don't want that now. We're kind of somewhat, hopefully, phasing out of, like, we just want content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that people are. There always was. I'll take more over less, and it's like there are some bars that need to be met there, and though.
I mean, that was the thing. I remember when the Transformers film franchise was going, and I remember that distinctly when people were like, "Man, this sucks," and they were just like, "Look, guys, you can't say anything bad about it, because the thing is, if you say something bad about it, then they'll stop making them. But it's like, if we just keep going, eventually they'll get good." And the thing was, that never happened. It just
Bumblebee.
Well,
Bumblebee was good.
It peaked with Bumblebee,
yeah.
and then what was it? Rise of the Beasts,
Yeah,
or
Rise
whatever it was afterwards. That one it dropped.
Yeah.
Then
Well,
TF1 brought it back up, but the problem is no one watched it.
Yeah, see, and that's
Landry, wasn't you that was talking that a few weeks ago you were talking about the toys for Transformers?
Yes.
Weren't you? About how they have to make those movie toys to make all the cool stuff that the collectors actually want, because the movies are the ones funding it, keeping it alive.
I don't think you can see this cabinet here is all my Transformers over there, right in the middle, and those are really high-end masterpiece. Like, yeah, exactly. That I'll get you guys a picture later. But somebody once was complaining at Hasbro, was like, "Why don't you make more of these? Why are my shelves filled with these movie toys? No one wants these." And then the Hasbro guy came out and said, "Listen, you don't want these, but let me tell you, these are the ones that sell larger numbers, and the reason we can make those is because of the movie toys. Without the movie toys, all of these, and these are the ones we want to make too, but without the movie, these all go away." So, but that was dependent on the movies actually drawing in an audience. Now we're talking about stuff that isn't drawing, is bad, and is also not bringing in an audience.
Yeah.
The numbers for Doctor Who are gone. It's gone.
Yeah. And I would also say it's also because of that reaction, BBC is reeling back on wanting it to be worldwide, or Bad Wolf as well. Because actually, a little bit of news tied to War Between the Land and the Sea. They just announced the DVD, the Blu-ray, and the collectible steelbook. Only physically releasing in the UK of February next year. Only in the UK. Knowing, we don't even know when it's coming out on Disney Plus for everyone else. But knowing their track record of how they release this stuff physically, it is most likely going to be 2027 before the rest of the world can actually get it.
Yeah.
Unless they buy it from a UK export.
Well, we've seen this happen with the Doctor Who toys. The Doctor Who toys, the distribution of them has become increasingly UK only. Like, I have a large collection that's just starting to peter out because I can't afford the import prices. And there's no, even before tariff issues, they were not coming here anymore. The Doctor Who toys have just become more and more scarce. They're still making them. They're just not bringing them to the United States or really anywhere outside of the UK, to my knowledge.
No, you can't. If you go to the UK, you'd probably find many stores that actually sell them. But outside, it's like, well, you're gonna have to get it online, or it's gonna be like a very niche store that purposely buys them because they know they have collectors that will get them. So
that's funny because in Chicago they just opened a Gundam base store. So
nice.
Let's be doing gangbusters.
Oh, well, I mean, it does in Japan. Like the ones that I've been to, they're always like packed with people, and not just tourists, like actual locals just going there. So they're always packed. So,
have either of you seen the photo of when they were making Lord of the Rings of Viggo Mortensen and Carl Urban with armfuls of Gundam
in Japan? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. They're just like, oh, we just want to buy all this stuff here. It's cool, yeah. But no, it's weird that they were pushing Doctor Who to be this big new world. They wanted a repeat of when it became big, especially in the States during the Moffat era. They wanted that again.
Should have just brought back Moffat again. We would have been safe.
I'm going to be honest, I feel like we would have still had maybe somewhat similar problems. Maybe not as bad.
Not
as Russell T. Davies, but I feel like we'd still be we would be just retreading the same water, because as much as I do like one of the two Moffat episodes we had for Shooty, a lot of people would always compare that, like, he's just writing 12 again. He's just writing Clara again for Ruby. So he's not writing 15 in Ruby. He's writing what he knows.
I mean, forget Moffat. Forget any. We needed new people, new perspectives, new approaches, new tone, new direction, new characters, and no more retreads. Because, I think Moffat. I mean, look, Moffat retread himself with Amy and Rory were just Sally Sparrow and her boyfriend all over again. You know, it was.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just a bit like fleshed out more as actual, like
it gave him an opportunity. I feel like, that's what these people are doing. They're just rehashing, and we just need new perspectives. I hate to say it, we just do.
Yeah, because this whole like banking on nostalgia, it only works in parts, not if it's the entire point of your whole era. Mm-hmm. Guys, you need to know about Sutek, this villain from a classic episode that at the time you probably couldn't watch his episode.
Yeah, but that would be not saying that as a serious conversation, but like if Moffat was the one that was having the second era, still I don't think we would be having the issues of let's randomly make this one woman the Ronnie, and then the Beast of Omega comes out. Might just be Omega. We would not be having those issues.
Well, to be fair, Moffat went on record for saying that the Rani is a Z-list character. He doesn't care about her. So, yeah, you would be right. We would not have the Rani.
It would have been River Song or something, man. It just...
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big fan of Moffat's writing. I don't think like, his era, I mean, Matt Smith made the Matt Smith era great. Moffat was one of the weaker points of that era. And the Capaldi stuff. There was some great Capaldi stuff, but even though Capaldi is probably my favorite Doctor, his episodes are not the best. It's fine. I mean, what he did was better than what we got this season, the last two seasons, but just somebody new.
Last 5 seasons.
Yeah,
I mean, I think I've decided Doctor Who ended with Capaldi.
Yeah, it did.
But no, the absolute cowards for War Between the Land and the Sea. Of course, the guy hooks up with the attractive-looking fish person. Russell, you coward. Have him make out with an actual sea devil.
With a beak.
They did actually bring back the sea devils, though, didn't they, Joe?
They brought back some of the other ones, but like we haven't really seen.
I've seen like it's like a very like kind of like almost blurred, like they're somewhat in the background.
Where we're seeing a little more of the other kinds of sea people, but like
There's only one more
It's-
episode, so it doesn't really matter.
it's such an insignificant amount of screen time.
So the again, same thing. They're just copying the Silurians again, where it's just like, oh, we bring them back, and then we also bring back the Sea Devils, and they both have different, slightly altered designs.
Yeah.
It happened in Warriors of the Deep, where they brought both of them back. They both had slightly altered designs, and then when the Silurians came back for Series 5, they had an entirely different design.
Thank God.
So, of course, it's like, we got to bring the Sea Devils back after the previous attempt with the Legend of the Sea Devils and give them an entirely different design and we have to make sure that one of them is really attractive. Just so, in case we need to write into the story that, of course, the guy that is sympathetic to them falls in love. Because
She's totally not going to sacrifice herself in a way that teaches humanity a lesson or any shit like that.
Yeah,
Sure.
knowing that this is always a constant thing with Silurian / Sea Devils with humanity, I don't see that they're going to do this is the definitive, end of the conflict. We have a resolution. They finally made peace. We can move on. I don't think it's going to be it is going to be somewhat bittersweet. Salt is probably going to sacrifice herself. Everyone's going to be sad, but they're not going to come to really some form of an agreement.
So are there Silurians, like classic Silurians, in this as well?
From what I've heard, no
classic looking ones, no.
But there are more modern Silurians as well as the Sea Devils. The Sea Devils are just different kind of Silurian.
There's some different designs, but
they're all Sea Devils. They're
only dealing with the aquatic ones.
Yeah.
No representation for the land ones. This is not acceptable.
This is one of the things. I know it's not a good episode, but the Peter Davison Fifth Doctor Sea Devil Silurian, I love the fact that these are just land and water aquatic, they're the same species. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I would like to have seen some of that.
Yeah.
Well, one more episode. Joe, you'll have to tell us if they stick the landing.
I certainly will. I will let you all know, because we're not going to be recording probably till next year at this point. After this,
that's right. The 7th/8th of January.
Yep.
Mark your calendars, folks.
Please.
But speaking of one more episode, let's finish this episode. We have to talk about our main topic, the Christmas invasion, and who better to go to than Landry of the Quinn Walkers.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I don't think it was in the chat what we were going to review. Now I can review this because I've seen it many times, so I can do this. But
I was tempted not to watch it because I remember it quite well.
All right, so one, it starts off strong, it ends strong. The middle is a little weak for me when he's laying down there breathing badly, breathing out his regeneration gas. That's the one we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Dave Tennant regeneration episode.
Yep.
Yeah. Full Dave episode.
Into Dave Tennant. And this is with the Sycorax.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. See, I love the bit with the hand. Of course, that ends up paying off wonderfully. Tennant he did what he needed to do, which was own the role.
Yep. Just
be a completely different Doctor, and he brought so much energy to it. The extended version, there's a deleted scene for this one that really made it, or maybe that's a deleted scene from the Christmas special. Do you count the little Christmas buffer bit? There's a little teaser bit. You guys watch that?
Mm-mm.
I've seen it before. Yeah.
Great stuff. When he just more interactions between Rose and him when he first regenerates. Love the wardrobe scene. I love Doctor Who wardrobe scenes. I think I want a wardrobe scene every time. I don't want like I just picked these clothes up from the hospital, which we've seen a few times. I love a wardrobe scene.
It's the only time we ever see a different room in that TARDIS.
Right? and
I still scratch my head on how does he get there? Because unlike with other TARDISes, I don't see any entrances to any other.
I think he goes down.
Yep.
I think that's the implication. It's a spiral down, but
Yeah.
you don't really ever see like where that is. Unlike, with 11s, you see different rooms. 12s, you see different rooms. Like 13s, it's more enclosed, so you don't really see that much. But 15s, you see entryways to different places. With 9/10s, it's like you say there's other rooms.
That's a lot of numbers considering Capaldi was the last Doctor. Okay. So this episode, I mean, again, and of course, what's her name? Prime Minister. Like
Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones. Prime Minister. We know who she is.
So many threads together in such a phenomenal way. The only thing I'll say, I find the middle, the pilot fish. What? Why? Just so you could have cool. I mean, this is such a forecast of bad Russell T Davies writing with that bit. As cool as those robot Santas are, they don't make any sense. It is the robot Santas in this, and then they come back. The robot Santas come back in the Donna Noble one. Is that right?
Yeah, in the next Christmas special.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which made even less sense.
Yeah, it's weird. Like they try to give an explanation, but it doesn't really.
It makes no sense.
They're just there.
It's fun. I think it lags in the middle. I think the Christmas Santas make no sense. I think Rose comes off a little like whiny, but the Doctor calls her on it, like in a great way when he's like, deciding what kind of man am I? Just wonderful, wonderful introduction of the Tenant, and a wonderful introduction for a modern audience into what makes Doctor Who so interesting and exciting and science fictionally weird. The regeneration, the change of the character, and seeing that from Rose's perspective, all was phenomenal. So that's my review. I loved it.
Gevain.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything Landry said. I think the middle, it drags a bit. It's what I don't like necessarily about like the introductions of new Doctors. The whole sometimes he can be out of it just a little bit too long. When it's like, okay, let's get to it. But I laughed out loud through a lot of this episode. It was just a lot of little bits in it that just were really funny. It was like you get the chemistry between the four main characters like right away, between Tennant, the Doctor, Mickey, Rose, her mom. It's like nobody's wasted in that sense in terms of like what this, in a sense, this family dynamic is. And then you have Harriet Jones. All of her scenes are great. It's like you would think it would be like a little bit more distracting than it actually is, but it's like for her there's a very strong through line in terms of story and what she ultimately ends up representing going through. Tennant was just great. It's like he really carries the episode with his energy. Yeah, the Rose character with Rose, I agree with Landry. It's like she comes off whiny, but I think what's always been interesting about her and Tennant together, her and 10, is like they're almost a little bit callous, if you will, in terms of their effect, how they're affecting everyone else's lives in this, like because they're having so much fun and they are so into each other, they're almost not paying attention to how it's affecting Mickey and her mom and her mom. But it's like they really gel well. For Eccleston to leave in the way that he did, I don't think the show, the production could have hoped for a better replacement than Tennant, and he just really took to it, like given what we were talking before, like a fish to water. The one thing I do like about this episode, like Landry said, like the whole thing with the hand and how it gets paid off. I think there's this felt like, even if and I might be reading it as too much, like there was intention behind this episode. it's like almost from the beginning you see sees Planet of Time Lord victorious in the way that basically, even though 10 is rightfully upset with Harriet in terms of how she deals with the Sycorax at the end when it was clearly resolved, but she felt the point to send a message, and he's like, well, I should have been warning them about you. I think the one thing that represents a missed opportunity for me, and I'm still hoping Big Finish will do this, it's like, and I think it was in the End of Time episodes when 10 finishes out, he has a conversation with Wilford about 7 and how he really dislikes that incarnation of himself because he's like talking people into things and stuff like that. But I think you see sometimes with a lot of people, what they hate in other people is what they see in themselves. And I think when you see the way that 10 deals with Harriet in terms of whispering, oh, doesn't she look tired? That's 7. That's that manipulation. That's that like part of the Doctor that just gets a little bit too big for his britches and interferes in a way that he almost comes off like a hypocrite. So I'm looking forward to when they finally, because I think they've had 10 do an episode with every other Doctor so far through 6. I'm waiting for 7 because I think there's a lot of story to be had there. A lot of story to be had there. And I think you see echoes of that in this episode. But this is like, when it comes to the ratings, I'll explain my rating, but like definitely one of the better
Regeneration
stories. Thank you. I always think of reincarnation, regeneration stories, but an excellent introduction of 10 and 10. It just he runs away with it. Yep.
Joe of the Corallos.
Well, this is a tough one to really talk about a lot in like an unbiased way, in the sense of like, I was watching it at the time when it was coming out, like, you know, bootleg DVD, you know, like ripping it and watching it as it was airing in the UK. And like, this was such a huge deal because like the show is over for the season. We just get the Christmas story, and then there's another gap before we get, you know, new Who. So I sat on, you know, this story, and this was all the David Tennant we had for months. And it was just like a lot of like rewatching this story, really examining this story, and you know, trying to figure out where it was going to go, all these things. So like, and it really worked. Yeah. So I think all of that's great. Very similarly, even at the time, it was like, what the fuck with the Santas and the Christmas tree? Like,
I'm gonna get killed by a Christmas tree.
Like, just like nonsense. And the other thing with the Harriet Jones stuff needed to be a little tighter, because the way it gets acted out, especially towards the end, where it's like, why did you have her like almost run and sacrifice herself for Rose? And like, there's like a couple of other things where she's like really being sympathetic in a way that it's like, it makes it kind of like, well, it's a little tougher when, you know, the Doctor does that, because it's like, you know, if you didn't say that to her in the first place, she probably wouldn't have done it. Like, you kind of made it a point to be like, well, I mean, this is what's going to happen. They're going to go out there and tell the rest of the world or the universe that you guys exist. I don't know. It's like, so that there's a way you could have just written that to tighten it up a bit and avoid some of that, because it ends up being clunky, because obviously as we get to like the resolution of that, you're not supposed to be like, oh, the Doctor like messed with her or like set her up for failure or something. You're not supposed to think that. So it's, I wish that was tightened, but that's really it. And that's coming from, you know, I feel like having seen this, I don't think I could tell you how many times I've seen this. So it's just, it's from that. But
I'm going to have to say that the only thing I can think of, because I always love that scene. I always love that scene at the end. And yeah, I realized this time he goes ahead and he says, "Man, those aliens are going to be coming for you. You know? They're going to come to Earth. Better get used to it."
Yeah.
But
What about you guys?
when he said that, and then she goes ahead and fires the Death Star on Earth. And
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Not just one beam, kids, 5. No.
I think it's supposed to be, because its disappointment is how she reacts to that. Because while there will be aliens coming, but he doesn't mean that it will always be danger.
Yeah.
He means that Earth is noisy. You keep going out there, of course the universe will respond back. And I can just see that in that moment. I really want to get the novelization of this one, because I am sure that at that moment where she gets the call and she looks at the doctor, she's like, "What do I do? What do I do?" Just that inner monologue would be great.
Do you think she regretted the move?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely she did.
You think?
Because even though at the time it felt like it was the right choice, she recognizes that her action was largely unnecessary. It doesn't matter. The Daleks, the real monsters, are going to come anyway. But no, she definitely regrets doing that, because that's just, it's not. It was unnecessary. But no, this is a good episode. I love the spinning Christmas tree, and the pilot fish. I always forget that they're not. I've seen this a few times now, more than a few times. I always forget that they're not connected to the Sycorax at all.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's just random Santa aliens shooting people. Yeah, no, that's a little weak. Little weak sauce. But not enough that it actually stops you from enjoying this episode. So yeah. Chris.
All right. So I love this episode. This cemented, I'm going to really like David Tennant as the Doctor. I think it does a really good job of setting up what his Doctor is going to be, and also that underlying of if he doesn't have someone with him, he could actually cause a lot of damage, especially even just saying 6 words that would essentially topple someone's end someone's career as prime minister, just because it's you killed someone, or you killed a race, and I'm not going to retaliate like killing you, but I can end your entire career with just not 1 word. I can say 6 words instead. But no, the episode, I think, strong start, as usual, with Rose being our POV from series 1. Her POV here of being here's the new Doctor, I think works incredibly well. Ending is great. The middle is where it does slow down and it's not as strong. The stuff with the Christmas Santas, the pilot fish, or robo forms, as the wiki refers to them as, it's they try to give a reason for them to be there, but I don't think it's as strong. I feel like they should have been more involved. If they are essentially tied with, they're supposed to be they're the scavengers before the actual predators arrive, which are the Sycorax. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I really loved it. It's not my favorite Christmas special. It's in the top 5, which I don't know. I keep forgetting how many Christmas specials there are. But no, it's really, really great. And there's a lot of fun moments. I do like that quick switch of Rose is just devastated that she thought she knew the Doctor, and now there's this new person, and then she quickly switches to be actually, you know what's more important? How the hell do you have men's pajamas, Mum?
That was good.
That's fun. And obviously, I'm gonna get killed by a Christmas tree. It's iconic Jackie moment.
Fruits that he keeps pulling out of his out of the nightgown.
Yeah. So before we get into ratings, a little bit of facts here. This is, well, technically it is not the first Doctor Who Christmas special. Technically, that would be the Feast of Stephen in the Dalek Master Plan. This is the first Christmas special since that episode. There has not been a Doctor Who Christmas special until the Christmas Invasion, which I think is wild. I know specials, like festive ones, weren't as big in Classic Who, but it's wild that they only did the one and then called it a day.
And a Merry Christmas to you all.
Yeah.
For anyone that can actually find this episode. So going into, I had him back here. Going into the trivia, David Tennant is credited as the Doctor, as opposed to when Christopher Eccleston was credited as Doctor Who. This was done on David Tennant's request, much like with his future father-in-law did Peter Davison. Yeah. The middle 8th section of the Doctor Who theme tune is restored in this episode and heard for the first time in the revived series. Because I did notice that when it goes into the theme, it's different. That's why they restored that section of the theme tune back into it. I had one here. So there's actually a reason there was originally supposed to be a reason why the Doctor speaks with an accent similar to Rose, because obviously with 9 he had a northern accent. In this one, it's very more closer to Rose. David Tennant actually explained. He said that there was a line of dialogue that was.
Oh, Chris, you're gone.
Oh, I thought that was just for me.
No, Chris.
Which?
Yeah, he
I
dropped.
can't hear you. We also can't read your lips.
It says muted now. Now it says unmuted.
Perfect.
You're back.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It is
You're underwater.
Yeah.
It is
Underwater menace.
cutting connection.
There you are.
Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Yes.
Am I good now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So last we
Awesome.
heard was there was a reason David Tennant said.
Oh yeah. So the reason is David Tennant said there was a line of dialogue in the script that they didn't use, where the Doctor essentially imprinted on Rose, like a chick hatching from an egg. Hence why he has a similar accent. It is in the novelization though, so they put it back there.
Is that connected to the Help Me scene at all? Like that? Like that's.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember reading that actually when it happened. I remember the interview, and I always thought it was interesting. Of course, Matt Smith becomes the Doctor with nobody around, so we don't get that same explanation. And then I think they tried to say that Capaldi has a Scottish accent because of his time with Amy previously.
Oh. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, 12 got his face from
Right.
from you know who. And funny enough, last fact, there is a story called the Christmas Inversion, which was released as part of the 12 Doctors of Christmas book. It is set after the TARDIS is taken to the Sycorax ship, and just before they all return and reunite with Jackie. So the story is someone answers that distress call that that Rose accidentally sets off. The person not just the person, the people that answer the distress call and meet up with Jackie Tyler are Mike Yates, Joe Grant, and the Third Doctor.
Are you serious?
Yes, this is an actual story. They meet Jackie Tyler in between the pilot fish still left some stuff there to try and attack them. So the third Doctor is attacked by parasitic mistletoe. The Master eventually also appears and is attacked by tinsel.
Okay.
And the 10th, I think no. And the 10th Doctor goes to explain that the reason why he was able to complete his regeneration and stabilize it is because the third Doctor was there and he was kind of by energy osmosis siphoning regeneration energy off him to stabilize himself. So, yeah, that's a fun little in-between story. So, yeah, in between Jackie seeing the TARDIS getting taken to her eventually reuniting with all of them, she has her own little adventure with the third Doctor and his companions.
I kind of love that.
It's a nice little funny story. Yeah, the third Doctor gets attacked by mistletoe.
I'm all for this.
All right, I guess we will go into ratings. Landry.
Okay, I'm going to give this one an 8.5. It only isn't a 10 simply because the pilot fish make no sense to me in any... Although I love what you're telling me about that as a follow-up. They didn't really make any sense to me in the episode. The Christmas tree, why? It slows down in the middle a little bit. Even then, it's all still very entertaining work. The other stuff, if it wasn't for that weird kind of lag in the middle, I'd probably be looking at an 11 for this. This is so good on so many levels. Tennant's performance, the regeneration reaction, both his own physiological, all of it, just so good. I'm just going to review it again if I keep talking. So I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Gevain?
Yeah, I have to go to 8.5 too. I realize I'm being careful about my reviews because you guys have spoiled me with Jubilee. So 10 is going to be a high bar going forward. But this is clearly like Landry said. If it wasn't for the lag in the middle, I probably would have given this a 9. But I think an 8.5 is appropriate because I think on every other aspect of the story, it's firing on all cylinders. It's like these are almost like nitpicks. In a certain extent, these are like nitpicks given what the story accomplishes, not only in the story itself, but for Tennant's incarnation of the Doctor going forward.
Okay. Joe, the Corallos.
Yeah. It's just funny because I was also thinking an 8.5 as well. Because for me, it was like a 9. It's like a 9 feels like just a little too much, but like it's better than an 8. So that naturally. But yeah, there's some nitpicks to it, but it's really fun, and it was great having that to watch for like a few months, like every couple weeks or so, just just being really excited about David Tennant becoming the next Doctor, watch it with other people, and just really like it was one of the it was one of the most exciting times in my life being a Doctor Who fan. So,
And if I got thrown real quick, and because I ended up watching New Earth, I think it is after this, nicely compliments this. It really brings the whole introduction to like, boom, we're here, kids.
Yeah. Agreed.
I almost went 9 as well, but then I remembered how poorly done that sword fight is. So I have to go 8.5 as well.
Yes, yeah. No,
Really
you're right.
bad sword fight. Oh my god. I didn't remember it being so poorly done. It was always better in my imagination. Go ahead, Chris.
I guess I'll round it out with an 8.5 as well. Yeah, I love the story, even with some of its imperfections. definitely, it is one of the most best and solid debuts for a Doctor, without a doubt.
We're a united front this week. I guess that's a good way to end the year.
Has this ever happened?
It's happened
Rare.
maybe
Yeah.
a couple times.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Like that.
I don't think so.
Not often.
I mean, it's 5 opinions, so
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot, but it's
Impressive.
It's good.
See, this is what peace on Earth looks like. This
There we go.
It's that image of futuristic Earth with flying cars. Yeah.
we can all get in the USS Enterprise and
Well, we hope you enjoyed. We ask you to like and comment and subscribe. We will be back next year with more Doctor Who conversation, because Lord knows we don't have any more Doctor Who show to talk about.
Yeah.
Not until Christmas next year.
that's true.
That's right. But that's it. Have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays,
Happy
and
New
a
Year.
very Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Good night.
Bye.
And Alonze.